Hello everyone and welcome to another Murders at the Karlov Manor draft. And we have two very nice rares as the option for the first pick. I don't even have to, check these rest the remaining of cards. I mean, of course, I know what they are, but I don't have to kind of analyze them. Shock is, I would say, a fine first pick, but now I'm either taking the Unyielding Gatekeeper. You can pause and read what it does, or the Lamplight Phoenix. You can also pause and read what it does if you don't know. Both are incredibly good. Yeah, it's just a matter of preference. I guess this is a double caster, and a 2-drop is a slightly more valuable thing as a 3-drop, although quite often you want to disguise it, but you have the option to play it as a 2-mana 3-2. I'm taking the Gatekeeper, but both are fantastic first picks. And I get another Shock in here, which I would be taking had I taken the red rare from the Phoenix. Now I do have some options. I can still pick the Shock, but I could also take a No More Lies. Now my previous deck was a red-white one, and I actually lied in it. I said that it's my first red-white draft on the channel, but I think my draft number 2 that I recorded also was red-white, so that was the second one. Sorry about that, I just didn't remember it. So, am I gonna take the Shock? Not on my watch. It's not a bad card. You could just take it here and stay very open. But No More Lies is really efficient. I think I'll take it. I like it quite a bit. I already have white here, so maybe I could have some kind of a blue-white, maybe detective focus deck. Or maybe I can have whatever. At least this pack does not have anything that's red, so passing the 2 Shocks seems a good decision so far. There's an Inside Source, which I think I like slightly more than the Not on My Watch. Now there are not many decks in this format that won't be attacking you unless you are gonna die, even if you get to kill one of their attackers. This will be useful against the majority of the decks. But this is, a proactive card. You can just play this and threaten the opponent. You have to wait for a good attacker to exile with this thing. So I think I still prefer the Inside Source. Yep, let's take it. It's a really nice 3-drop. Absolutely. And here, well, easy pick, I would say. It's just gonna be the Cold Case Cracker. I'm not big fan of the 6-mana thing. I would play it in blue decks that have picked both the Thinking Cap and the Magnifying Glass just for the heck of it. But it's just not a very good card given its mana cost, which is really, quite expensive. And then, of course, the Cold Case Cracker is just a fantastic 4-drop. Let's take that one here. And, okay, the best card in the pack, I think, is the Tunnel Tipster, and the other green card is good too. The Evidence Examiner definitely can do some nice work in certain decks. Hustle and Bustle, not for these cards that I have picked. There's a Thundering Falls, which you could take and maybe still have the option to be some kind of red or splashing for red. There's an Unauthorized Exit, or the Gravestone Strider, that I could take if I want to just stay white and blue, but I think I'm just gonna take the Falls. Now this gives me some options for the splashes and all kinds of things. I don't think the Unauthorized Exit is really that high priority of a card. It really isn't. So I can easily pass a couple of them. Alright, Public Thoroughfare. I'm not going to be like a multiple color deck. This would be useful for that. I could just take the Forum Familiar. I even have a little bit of synergy with a couple of ETB. Well, this is not exactly an ETB ability, but getting to recast and then turn it face up again can be valuable. Let's take the Familiar. I just want to actually be blue-white here, but I do realize now that blue isn't very open here. I took the No More Lies and the Cold Case Cracker, and that's pretty much all the blue I've seen now. And then there's like a Leering Onlooker, which I really think is a good card. Now there's an Auspicious Arrival, which definitely is a nice card to play in most decks. But this is very high quality. I'm going to take this and consider, being white-black. Hustle and Bustle. Okay, there's another, well, suddenly another Cold Case Cracker here. Well, I'm gonna go immediately back to what I intended to be drafting blue and white with this. There's nothing great black in there even. So I basically missed the white trick, but I guess I can live with that. Dramatic Accusation, it's not the worst. You can definitely play this card. And now I can pick the unauthorized exit. I am gonna just cut this thing, and I will take 20 gems from here and uncommon over the common, and that's the pack 1 Suns 1 remaining card. Which is a Snuffler, which, well, I would play if I get some kind of a couple of good equipment. I don't know how easy that will be. Okay, Lazav is really good. Just a 2 mana 2/3 then, and then you basically, if there is any card in any graveyard, you get to investigate. You won't be able to investigate with this if there is no card in any graveyard. But still, that's really fantastic. And then, of course, you have the copying ability, which could also be handy. Now, and there's also the Galvanize and Murder and the Buried in the Garden. That's a really good pack, actually. I'm almost maybe taking this because it is actually splashable removal. If I get something like an Escape Tunnel, I could take a Galvanize because I do have the Thundering Falls too. I guess I'll take the Galvanize because I do have the, already one way to splash it. But I do like the Buried in the Garden slightly more. But this is, very mana efficient, of course. 2 mana, the card that often kills something that costs, more than 2. Sometimes you have to pay, of course, the ward for the face down creatures. But here, oh boy, what a pack! As much as I like the Warrior's Call, and I think it is a splashable card, it's definitely a splashable card, I'm just really tempted about picking the Lightning Helix. I think this is quite likely going to be a base blue-white deck, and splashing for red. This is good on turn 6, turn 7, but I think the Lightning Helix is slightly more flexible, and it's really fantastic that it can even target the opponent. So you can, also have this kind of way to finish them off. Now here, more of these green-white stuff. Both of these are pretty fantastic cards, by the way. I don't think I have played a green-white deck yet. But it's not going to be this draft where I'm doing that. Now, basically, I have 2 options. I'm not going to splash for the detonation. And I'm not really excited about taking another copy of the unauthorized exit. I guess there's also the Snoop, but I'm not going to consider that high priority. Now, do I need a consultant? I don't actually have that many creatures here. So this is not going to get the pump that often. I'm just taking the binding, and now I have a bunch of removal. I need to finish the deck off with some creatures. Well, I will still take good removal spells, of course, but I wouldn't mind having some good quality creatures here. Push pull. Yeah, I don't need it. Detective's Satchel. No, I'll just take the Phantom. 3 mana Disguise, 5 mana Turn it face up, 4/3 flyer. Okay, I'm not excited about that, but I'm taking it. Alright, there's this interrogation. How good this is? Not very good, actually. What else does this pack have? There is the Griffnote Tracker. Also a detective. Now, you will get a nice number of clues, but it's gonna cost a lot of mana to get the draws from them. If you get 5 clues, even if you could get that, it costs 10 mana to cast them in. I'm gonna take the tracker here. This is so kind of clumsy effect. I'm getting all the unauthorized exits here. Well, I have a Dog Walker. There's like a chance I can even cast this sometimes at 2 mana because I'm splashing for red. But this is just a fantastic card still to disguise and then get the dog tokens with just the white mana. So let's take that one here. I do need some 2s though, and I realize I did pass one 2-drop that was 1/3, the one that gets pumped if you attacked with 3 or more creatures. But here I have good options here. There's the Reasonable Doubt and the Strider. And I think this is the totally card I'm willing to play as a 2-drop sort of a thing. But I'll take the Strider because I'm splashing, and it's one way to actually get your splash going on. Well, Behind the Mask. I don't think I'm gonna play this, but I suppose it's slightly more likely. And yes, I don't have a lot of blue cards, but enough good blue cards that I'm just gonna play blue anyway. I'm putting this straight to the sideboard though. Make your move. That is a good sideboard card, but the concealed weapon actually not a bad one too, because I am splashing for red. I need something from other fixing though, but maybe pack 3 can give it to me. I think I'll take the straight up sideboard card. Did I take it? I don't know what happened. Okay, I think it worked. Alright, the crowed haunch is good. I wouldn't mind having another copy of this Strider, but this is a very nice card, I think. Yeah, this is really good. I guess that's one reason to maybe consider playing the Snuffler. Alright, here I will not take the Criminologists. I think... Do I need to... Oh, I'm just taking this guy. I can turn it face up with double blue. Alright, push and pull over. Well, someone's gonna get the last peak murderer. Alright. What would be the peak, I wonder? Man, I would have really liked to have the archive, but yeah. You're blue-white and you get Ezrim. Open that in pack 3, that's really great, of course. This is an insane rare. I would really want to have, of course, the Phantom, but there's no way. You're never gonna pass this if you're blue-white, so let's take it. But this pack has 2 very nice options to me, you know, if I didn't open a bum rare. Now, fixing, please. This is unplayable. That's not a good one at all. I have expensive things in here. I think I'll take the cheapest one out of the bunch. Candlestick, really not what I'm looking to do. Nightwatch is a good card, but let's see the mana curve. Only a few of these are actually castable on turn 2, so I'm just gonna take the 2 drops, which means I'm taking stuff like... I mean, I would really like to have the Bubble Smuggler. No, vice versa. Would want to have the Granite Witness, but I have to take the Bubble Smuggler. I have to respect the fact that you don't win matches if you don't have a good mana curve. So this is absolutely the better card, but this I will take now. And okay, well, I have a lot of cards for my color. Sadly, though, not necessarily something I wanted to have. The Lost in the Maze is nice, definitely, but I mean, I don't think it's that nice. If I had more cheap creatures, I would consider it much better option here. Sprite. I'm taking the creature over the makeshift binding. I have a lot of removal, so maybe I don't need another 3 mana removal spell. I know 2-drop, sadly. There is even the land which I really would want to have, because it also helps with the the white blue cost, which is not trivial at all for the Ezrim. But this would be a really decent one too. Oh man. I think I need the land though, so I'm taking it. Alright, any 2-drops? No 2-drops. Surveillance Monitor, Burden of Proof. I think I have a bunch of detectives in here. 6, and I guess a couple of ways to get the detective token. I don't need another 4-drop. I have enough of those. Yeah, I don't need the 4-drop, so I'm taking the Burden of Proof. And now fixing, please. No fixing at all. This is like a blank pack, almost. Unless I want to have access to this kind of a slow life-linking flyer, which, because the black won't be easy to... I guess it's possible with a couple of ways to produce any color, but I'm not needing another copy of the unauthorized exit, so I'm taking this and we'll see if I'm gonna main deck it or not. Alright, I have 2 options for a 2-drop, and I think I might even consider the bigger one that can't really attack that much. Both are detectives for what it's worth. Well, okay, I'm taking still this thing. I think I prefer the ability to attack. Deadly Complication. I'm getting late murders and late deadly complications. That's a lot of those kind of cards passed here. I won't be playing the Thinking Cap. I'm taking this. Just to remove it from the drafting pool. Do I need another Phantom? I have enough expensive things here. So the answer is no. I'll just take the Candlestick. And Behind the Mask, number 2. I'm not playing two of them. I'm just taking the uncommon. And here I guess you could play Flotsam Jetsam. The Jetsam can actually do some nice work in some cases, but we'll see if I have room for that. So I'm basically splashing for 2 red cards, the Lightning Helix and Galvanize. I can always get the Dogwalker do its thing without access to red mana. This is 26 cards, and I think the first card is the Flotsam Jetsam. It's, it's not even a 2 mana draw a card, it's actually 4 mana draw a card with the cheaper option. So unless you really care about the milling, this is not really even that great of a card. But of course the Jetsam can be really good card, and I think it might be a card you can consider sideboarding in if the opponent has a lot of high impact spells. But I'm gonna have that cut now easily. Push and pull. So the 6 mana version is unlikely to happen. It's not impossible because first of all I will be splashing for red, and then I have 2 things that can produce any color anyway, so I just need 2 ways total to get the black or red mana. With the Strider and with the Public Thoroughfare and the Thundering Falls, it will be possible, but not that likely. But I like the push. It's a white 2 mana sorcery, destroy a tapped creature. How good is the Forum Familiar? So bouncing another target permanent I control. Which of these have some nice ETBs? Dogwalker has, well, it's not an ETB, but same to me. If you bounce this, you can re-trigger it. It's not very cheap though, just to get 2 1/1s. I guess you can reset this guy for the later game to make it into a 6/5, but it's not very. It's not very cheap either. So I could see not playing the familiar. Inside source is nice thing to bounce, but there are like just a few of them that I really care about bouncing. So I'm gonna in fact cut it. It will be just a 3 mana 2/2 with which I don't really need. I have enough creatures with these guys. Let's see how many of them I have total. Yeah, that's what, 8 after I cut this. So the Gatekeeper is nice. You can either flicker your own thing to save it from an impeding removal spell, for instance, or you can just get rid of and it's a non-land permanent. It's not just a creature. You can exile something for good. It doesn't come back, but instead the opponent immediately gets a 2/2 detective token, which is of course not a big deal if I get to exile something that is horrible for me to face, whether it's a creature or a non-creature permanent. So this is a really good card, of course. But I will cut the familiar. Now, do I want to play? Let's see that creature count. Okay, it's 15, and I will absolutely play 17 lands here. Unauthorized exit seems like the least exciting main deck card in here. I like the accusation and the binding here. A little bit of board, controlling for my flyers and maybe giving me some time to find my bum. And I do like actually the Fairy Snoop for one reason mostly, which is that it gives me more chances to find the Ezreal, which will totally dominate the battlefield if I can play this. Usually when you can play this so that you have still 1 mana left over to use its ability. But yes, I will be cutting the unauthorized exit from the main deck. That is still 9 blue cards. And 4 4-drops, 1 5-drop. This will be a 2-drop most of the time. And then I will... Let's actually see the creature curve still. I don't have a lot of 2 mana creatures, especially because the Dog Walker won't always happen. But then again, the No More Lies is something I can use as a 2-drop. And even the push, it's a sorcery though, but if I'm on the draw, Well, no, it's not that convenient actually. If the opponent has a 2-drop, they still won't have that thing tapped. Maybe it's the hasty 2/2 fish clue that red has, but yeah, this is not exactly a 2-drop because I rarely can use this on my turn 2 against anything relevant. There are some good 1-drops, I guess, but anyway, I will be lacking in the early plays, and I hope I don't get punished by it too much. But I mean, I think I tried to pick the cheap cards, but I just didn't see them, and it's not like I caught any of them. I suppose you can play the unauthorized exit, especially if you are on the draw. I can sideboard this in against some decks where I feel like I need a tempo. But I'm not going to start with this thing in the main deck. But I will be in trouble against decks that can curve out. I don't think I just... Once I locked into blue and white, and I think with the Esrim it was still a good decision, I will have to get a little bit lucky. Of course, if I do actually get my mountain or one of the few red sources for turn 2, I don't know how many mountains I'm going to play yet, then of course I can have a Lightning Helix or the Galvanize on turn 2 as well. It's just not going to be a very common occurrence. Yeah, but this is the main deck. Put the lands in, or these two, and then I have to play one mountain, but is this gonna be enough? I guess it is because of I have the Strider and only 2 red cards. So one mountain, which I sadly cannot fetch anyway in any way. I didn't get the what's Escape Tunnel? Is that the Evolving Wilds of this set? Thundering Falls and this thing I can always produce me red. But I want to have a third red producing land in the deck, and then the Strider is as a bonus here, being able to produce red. So that's fine, and I do realize now that I won't have always mana up for this, the correct colors when I have 5 mana available. But then again, I actually want to play this only when I have 6 mana available. Now it won't be happening always, but it's at least out of 6 lands having 2 of them produce white, 2 of them produce blue. It's not that impossible either. I have 2 ways to get the savior on turn 3. It's either by playing this on turn 2 or playing this on turn 2. Then I would have black for turn 3. But yeah, that is it. That is it. It is a 15 creature deck. Alright, so I think I have more white than blue, but I do have the double blue in here. So let's see, this thing produces blue, so let's see, I do this. Okay, 13 more lands. So I will have an even, 6 of both of them, like this. And that is now 8 blue, 8 white, not counting the Strider. And then I will put 1 more white because I do have more white cards in the deck. So that's that. If I had a better mana curve, I would be a lot more satisfied about the draft. But now I could see getting run over. But that is the main deck. On the play. Well, I have this on turn 3 and I can flip it. I can play this, I can't flip it, and this is if I draw any land. I'm gonna keep it because I have so few 2-drops that I'm actually happy I have this. I have actually at least plays for guaranteed plays for turn 3 and turn 4. And if I just get any land, I will also be able to play the cracker here. And being on the play means that I can afford a little bit of a slower start here. And the opponent kept 7 cards. They took some time to decide, so I don't know if they just were AFK or they had some decision to be made. Sadly, I got my 2-drop but no mana for it. But at least the opponent did not get their 2-drop either, unless they do have a counter spell. But if they counter the... Should I actually play around? Because this is not the only 2 mana counter. There's also just the mono blue counter that taxes for 2. Because next turn I will play the Cold Case Cracker anyway. I think I'm actually going to feed this to a potential counter rather than the Fairy Snoop. There was no spell they were interested in playing. any 3-drops. Disguise creature is quite often the thing you see from the opponent on turn 3, but they have this looting thing. This is ETBs into loot, and when another detective enters under their control or is turned face up, they get to loot again. Coward Hunt. Oh, this equip is actually a colorless, but I'm just playing the cracker here. I'm wondering if I'm supposed to just block this guy. I don't have the double white or the one of red for this, but then again, if I do get the white at some point, I will be, you know, getting those dogs, and then this is good with the 1/1s. So I'm actually gonna do this, and if they want to block, that's fine. If they take the damage, then I'm off to the races. If I would draw an untapped land on the next turn, that would allow me to play the Fairy Snoop and have mana up for the normalize. Okay, they have a third color, but so do I. I mean, I don't have the color, but my deck has spells from the 3 different colors that... Well, I guess 4, but, you know, this doesn't need black. This exile card from a graveyard, doesn't matter to me. It is a detective, that means they do get a loot there. Now, I don't mind the trade with the cracker. I'm getting a clue token, that's fantastic for me. And I can even attack with my 2/2 because this only has 2 toughness. Alright, I'm happy to just play this face up. Efficient use of mana. And we continue with the race. Any block they make will be just fine for me. They are racing, and this I can just use to block the Inspector unless they have an exile-based removal spell or a bounce spell, of course, which they could have both of them, given that they are playing white and blue. Soul Search. Alright, so if they actually do choose to make me exile their Coward Haunch, they would get a 1/1 flyer. But I think the Snoop is the highest impact card when they know about the No More Lies. Although they can't really play around the No More Lies. I mean, they know it, but it's very hard to play around it at this stage in the game. So I think it's either the Snoop or the No More Lies. I mean, it could be the Haunch too, but I don't think it's a Galvanize. They have to just hope that I don't. Okay, they got rid of the equipment and then get a 1/1 flyer for their troubles. But now they have only 2 mana so far. So do they have something else that can affect the board? Because okay, they do, but they have this very it's the card I passed because it's so slow. I mean, they don't really have time to, you know, start cracking these clues. I guess they can crack one here and there, but I'm not too concerned here. Alright, I think my disguise creature is gonna die. I don't get the mana for it, and I will just play the tracker here. Although, I guess I could... If they block the cold case... Okay, this is a cracker, this is a tracker. Alright, so I could now choose to... to keep mana up for the... counterspell, but the problem, and you know, draw a card, but the problem is that they know about the counterspell, so I'm gonna do this. Exile, so that they can collect the least amount of evidence. So let's exile this too. And I still have this flyer, and this 1/1 isn't enough to deal with it. So it seems like they did not have a land drop on the previous turn, which makes these clues even worse. I have 6 power on the battlefield that they can't deal with using the what they have currently there. And they can't really rely on tricks because, you know, there's the No More Lies, which they know about. So they have to do something like on their turn before I untap that, you know, prevents the beating here. That makes me exile a card from my hand. It's gonna be the Galvanize. Watch me get a mountain immediately. Or the well, I have three lands that produce red, and the 1/3 2-drop that produces red. All right. So here the thing is that they will be double blocking the Nightwatch, but that would be fantastic for me because I get a 2/2 and they lose both of those. So let's do that. Okay, they just see what they draw for a better informed decision here. Do they take 6? That would be... It's just that it's not so nice to, you know, block the Nightwatch because I still get a creature here. Now, yeah, let's do the Strider and have mana up for the Normalize. I just want to add to the board now. The card might not be that relevant, and now if they don't play anything worth countering, I'm not sure if I would go for the Crack the Clue now, because they might have something instant speed I want to be able to counter. They had a land, but Enter tapped, so they are still only at 4 here, and they are facing, you know, now lethals. They can't take any hits. They have to start blocking, and these things are not that good at blocking. Alright, so I could actually counter that. But here's the thing. Then they have 2 mana for something else. So if I let that resolve, I would exile the Fairy Snoop, of course, because I would be wanting to have mana up for this thing. The thing is that I don't actually win if they have, on the next turn, if they have 3 1/1s. If they have 3 1/1s, it's not that great for me. I guess they still can't really... Well, yes, they can double block. This is really tough, you know, that is really tough. Okay, I'm gonna counter that. Because I at least have another Fairy Snoop in my hand. And if they counter this thing back, which is possible, then at least... I mean... Well, then they have the 3 1/1s and I don't have the Fairy Snoop. Well, okay, that happened. So now they have whatever they actually want to cast. Alright, so here I will be starting with this thing. I have the option of playing this as a... Because I can make the black mana with the Strider. I mean, playing it as a 1/4, but I don't think I really need to be doing it. I'd rather play it as a 2/2 and then draw a card. Now I have to... Okay, there's now... I am actually in a position to play around the Wrath effect, and if they... they have to kind of double block the Nightwatch. No, they can't, because they would have died otherwise. Now, they are at 3. There is a Wrath effect possibility. Yeah, that's kind of tough. I will get a 2/2, but it's not going to be enough to win. But then again, they could play something like a life-linking stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Should I... They don't know about the Phantom. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Phantom actually face down. They probably assume it's the Fairy Snoop, but it is actually a lethal flyer because I do have the mana to flip it up. Alright, they have Plains, Island, Swamp, and they do actually have 3, you know, even colors because they have the white. I guess, yeah, they have like all the colors here. So they are playing something like a 6/6/6 mana base, which is a little bit unreliable, which might mean that I have they might have to take some mulligans or have some awkward hands. I'm definitely not sideboarding in the unauthorized exit because they don't have like aggressive 2-drops here. And now that I'm playing against at least 2 things that make me discard or exile cards from my hand, I have to be very careful about mulligans because it's really miserable to mulligan against those Ravenous Rats sort of effects. Nothing for the make your move, really. Nope. They had the Ravenous Rats and the Soul Search to make me discard or exile cards. So, should I change something? Push? I guess the push might not be so good. I mean, they had some stuff I'm happy to exile, of course. I mean, destroy the tracker, and why not the Inspector too? But I could actually see not playing the push and actually playing the familiar. This mostly because I can bounce like a land. I can then exile to their hand hate effect. Not the one where they get to choose, of course, but the two ones. But the one ones that I get to choose myself. So that's like a something for a. I don't know how relevant that's gonna be, but I'll do that regardless. So that's that, I guess. There's not much to sideboard here. I'm gonna have it like this. At least I do have my colors. Well, not the red one, but that's no. If I have 3 sources, I'm not gonna assume that my starting hand is gonna have it. So I can make this, go away by sacrificing it because it's a food equipment, not a clue, but a food equipment. And then if I have 2 other mana, so basically at 4 mana, I can gain 3 and get 2 1/1s if I don't have use for the equipment here. All right, so I have 3 mana options here, 3 of them, so it doesn't really matter too much what they choose to do. Yeah, you need 4 mana to get the tokens there, so let's not crack it. Okay, they do have the hand hate there. I got the lightning helix, yeah, so maybe it's time to. I'm not gonna lose a land. I'm gonna take the galvanize away. And there's a bubble smuggler. Alright, well, I'm gonna start with this thing that I can actually turn face up, but although I'm not going to be turning it anytime soon necessarily. Well, I'm still playing it. It is much more efficient too, of course. Just cast it as a 3 mana 2/1. But I have like 2 ways in my deck to make the black mana happen. So it's not going to be that easy to find it. So if this enchants a detective eye control, it gets +2/+2. Otherwise it is a 1/1 and can't block detectives. Alright. Now I'll just attack. And I'm not going to even turn it face up. I'll just do this. I would really want to play this face down too to make it into a 6/5 in future, but okay, both of these are detectives, so that's kind of bad news. I need my lightning helix, but they got their 3 colors, so can I have 2? And not only that, but they also, have cast a black spell, a couple of them, a white spell, and now a blue spell. I would always play 3 colors if I could guarantee myself all the lands. Vampire Cleric, not a detective. This thing is a spirit, not a detective either. Well, the private eye really makes it tough here. This doesn't remove abilities, it only makes the base power and toughness different. So there's like a chance that I can actually... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attack with my lifelinker, because the lifelinker will be very good with the equipment. But I will actually try to get the private eye killed. It's risky, but I think I need to do something here. Yeah, this gets, lifelink, but it's not gonna matter because I'm not gonna attack into the private eye. I could have done that, but they wouldn't have blocked. I think they will be blocking, and I try to turn it into a 1/1 because it's a detective, but it's only going to give a +2/+2 if it's a detective eye control. And they still save the private eye from some kind of trickery, which I don't like at all, but I guess there's not much to do about it. It's well played because there are of course things that can go south there. So I got my 5 mana now, which allows me to at least turn this guy face up and then eat a agent, but not the tracker. Alright. If they block with the enforcer, I don't actually care. We don't have mana now to use the haunch, so I'm gonna just do this. Trade or not, don't care. And what I can do is play the smuggler. Yeah, but then again, I want to actually turn this my guy into... Yeah, no. Do they know about this? They don't know about it. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I can crack the haunch if something weird. Let's say they kill this thing. I can still use 4 mana to do this. Gain 3 and get a couple of 1/1s. I could have gone with the smuggler and the burden of proof, but since they didn't attack with the private eye on the previous turn, I don't think they're gonna do it now either. They have 2 cards, yeah, still. Imagine if I just had my 3rd color like they do. I'd kill this private eye and all of these would be smaller. That would be fantastic. Okay, so they're holding... Either there's a big black or they're holding priority here with the face down creature on the stack. What are they trying to do? I don't know, but maybe they just had a full control on, or they forgot that they had a spell in stack. But now they have a... Okay, they just wasted the black mana there. Alright, maybe they made a mistake. Maybe... I don't know what that was about. But now I can try to see if this works. I want to, of course, block the enforcer here rather than anything else. And is the final card. This could be the one that actually taps my thing. Yeah, I could have blocked the agent. Yeah, this could be a 3/2 flyer, but we'll see. They can make this bigger, but I mean, I'm not able to play around tricks at this point. Okay, so neither of my guys is a detective, so the burden of proof won't do much. And they are reluctant to attack with the private eye. So I think I could just do a little bit of a risky move here and equip the haunch. And then play the bubble smuggler face down. I would go to 10 and have some blockers here still up. I don't know what this is, but how could I know? Alright. I know I could also leave the saver to block the tracker here. It's not the worst idea. Let's see if I can attack. This can be the one that taps my thing. So well, I'm gonna attack with this one guy. I think I needed the lightning helix in this match. I needed the red sauce, which I haven't found. That's why I don't often splash, because it's kind of really annoying to face games like this. Now I'm thinking about playing the bubble smuggler here just as a 2/1, but it's not gonna do much in here. It's much better as a 6/5. But if I do this, I have mana for nothing. I can also choose to, still have mana up for the crowd haunch, gain 3 and get a couple of 1/1s. Or I can just, use the burden of proof in here if they choose to attack with the private eye. Okay, I'm actually gonna do it so that I'm not playing the smuggler now. I'm just gonna see what they are trying to do. They do have a lead. Okay, now they have that thing. Okay, well now they have... Oh, they couldn't actually cast. They chose the wrong. They should have chose themselves. They would have gotten 4. Alright, opponent, you actually made a mistake. They could have 4. It has to target players. Okay, well there's one more exile effect. So out of these options, I mean the Bubble Smoker is the card that can allow me to win. But Lightning Helix is really good if I ever get one of my 4 ways to get red mana. Burden of Proof I need just to have it up here. So this also gains me life. I mean, do I draw one of the ways to produce red mana? Okay, I guess I can draw also some random creatures, and I don't have the mana to both cast it face down and flip it face up. It is 6 mana to flip face up, which I have available. But as long as I have other spells to play, I won't have time to do that. So I got rid of that thing. Now I do think I need to. They are refusing to attack with the Private Eye, but they are. I mean, it would be great if they attacked with it, but now that they don't, I don't like the block here. I'm gonna go back to 10 if the face down creature isn't gonna, you know. Yeah, I know I could block this thing and then Burden of Proof the tracker itself. That is something I can do. It's just that, okay, fine, let's do that. If you don't attack with the Private Eye ever, I'm gonna do it like this. Because now I can actually attack for 8 in the air, making them go to 4, and I go to 14. And I hope this, whatever they have here, isn't gonna be enough. They could crack a clue now, but they chose not to. Because they could have drawn some 2 mana interaction there, but maybe this face down creature is something they... Actually, now I would really prefer having the this Bubble Smuggler, because I drew an island, so I could play this face down and still have the Crowd Haunch up. But yeah, let's not now. Let's just do this. See what happens. This face down creature must be something they can't even use. Maybe it's red. Okay, well, it is. It is a furry snoop. All right, so they can in fact kill the. Yeah, this is. Okay, fine. I think I lost now. Because they can eat the savior. And they will not go to 8 here. And they got a card from top 2 cards there. So, thanks to me not having it is Detective 2. You know, this is if this wouldn't be there, if my Lightning Helix would work. Totally different game. Totally different game. Now, okay, well, I'm actually just done with that. Thank you, Red Sauces, for not coming to my aid. So I don't think anything changes too much in here. Now that I know about the 1/4 flyer, it makes the 2/1 here I have a little bit worse, but I have this one equipment that can help. I have some removal, of course, not that much. Maybe I can actually draw the Ezrim at some point. Now, wouldn't that be nice? I guess I could have top decked this in this situation. Yeah, I kind of forgot that the Ezrim is in the deck. It was a live top deck, but it is like the only thing that can help me here. I exiled these and they attack for, you know... Well, they might leave this to block, but it would be a charm block. Alright, well, anyway, whatever, let's do this. play first? Well, I have a Galvanize and this, and they have like, I saw 3 of those things that make me exile a card. And they wouldn't be so big of a deal, they have won once, but they had that a pump spell that makes a pump creature the Lord, Detective Lord, making them into 2/2s. So, Burden of Proof is an easy thing to exile now, of course. I'm just gonna do this just in case I actually want to galvanize something, but I would want to galvanize. This goes away, I will exile it. No, they get to choose. Fine. How many soul searches do they have? I have seen only 1 per game, but maybe they have more of those too. So they know about the Burden of Proof, they know about the galvanize. It's actually better to play the Phantom now, because next turn it's gonna be the Tracker, and then if I draw a 5th land I can also just, you know, make this thing into a 4/3 instead. But let's see how much I need to exile cards here. And yeah, of course. Now I have these 2, but you know, game 2 I would have probably won, or at least been close to winning, if I'm gonna attack into that. I hope they don't block, but I guess I can use the Burden of Proof on it if they block. But we'll see. Yep. So yeah, I mean, game 2, if I had the red mana to kill the Detective Lord, it would have been a completely different game. This could be the 1/4, which is annoying, but I can make it into 1/1. It's just that they know about the Burden of Proof. They don't know about the Night Watch. I'm still doing this. Because if I played the Night Watch, they wouldn't have had a good attack with the 2/2 there. But now I think I'm willing to take the 2 here. Cadaver. Oh, don't like seeing that. Okay, well they are aggressive at least. So that gives me an attack here. Another question is, am I even going to use the Burden of Proof here? And the answer is no, because if I use 2 mana for that, and then there's nothing for me to do further on this turn. So I'm just gonna let that happen. Oh, they... Actually block that thing. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's quite slow to use this. When they sack a clue, they get this to their hand, and it's gonna take a lot more time before it's going to kind of you know, keep rolling. And now I would really... I don't think I need the Savior here though. I'm gonna actually exile that instead of the Burden of Proof. This is interaction, and I can actually pump both of these guys too. So... And that's not a bad one. I will be attacking here, of course, with both. And right, so if they have another exile thing, or just removal on my guys, I should play the Familiar because I do have the mana to... No, I actually don't. It's Disguise too. Well then just forget it. I'm just playing this. Just playing this then, because I can't turn it face up. 1 more land and then I can. Okay, so they can... That's actually exile, so they can get rid of the Night Watch or the Cold Case Cracker, whichever they prefer. That is not a detective, so this thing doesn't get the pump. Yeah, the 3/3 flyer giving me a clue token is probably nastier for them. Okay, Snoop isn't bad. Yep. The Nightwatch itself isn't a detective, so I can't pump that guy. But I of course don't mind any trades happening. I get a 2-2. Oh, they're gonna jump block. No. They are not gonna jump block. I wonder why they did not attack with it. Anyway, this is fine, and I can now play the Fairy Snoop. I don't actually have the double blue for it, but and I'm not going to play this one either. Okay, they get now. They chose the correct player this time. They got 3 clues from me, and yeah, when they start cracking them, they will get the cadaver. But it's slow. It's a 4 mana 3/1. Consultant. Okay. Well, I am just attacking with everything, seeing what happens. I'll trade my face down Snoop. Okay, so that is a Snoop of there. That is of course getting now the +2/+2 there. Let's see how to... Yeah, because the burden of proof of course will be doing something. And I can even play the consultant, so that is nice. But they can now trade with the tracker. Or, well, at least this isn't gonna trade with anything. It can only bounce off of a 2-2 or 3-2, so this is actually fine. I'll just make this into a 5-4 now, because it is a detective. And the opponent knows about it, but they can't do much about it. The other option is to kill this thing. But I guess if I have a 5-4, that's gonna be great, so... Let's do that. There, 6 still with the lifelink. And then I have this, which will be a 3-3 on attack. Even if they deal with the tracker. That is a clue. Well, that is annoying, but actually this burden of proof does make it into a 1-1 because it's no longer under my control. And I can bounce target permanent I control. I can bounce the burden of proof, but that actually doesn't even make too much of a sense. This thing can't block detectives either, and I have a couple of them. This is also going to be a detective. Now let's just do the attack. There's no reason to do nothing pre-combat. They're actually going to go to 2 here. And I will be playing this, of course, face down, get a couple of more 1/1s. I have the mana to turn that thing face up. Now, it's almost a good idea to play the Forum Familiar as a 1/1 right now. But... I mean, they are at such a low life total. I'm gonna wait one more turn. If I draw an untapped land, I can just play this face down and still do this Dark Walker thing. I don't think I care about them. They're 3/1 too much. It will cost almost all of their mana. And this thing cannot block my detectives, this or this. This is a citizen. If they were exactly at 1, I think I would have played the familiar, but now that they are 2, they can just take this. They don't have to use a blocker on this thing. So I felt like I don't want to do it. And now if I get my... Wait a minute, if is Lightning Helix in the deck? Lightning Helix is in the deck. It targets a player too. But they are thinking what they're doing. I will pause the recording until something happens. Well, nothing has happened so far, and this is their final timeout, so I guess they passed the turn. And I get Makeshift Binding. Extra target creature and opponent controls. Well, I think I prefer still to have the disguise option up. So let's do the attack, and let's first see if the opponent is even gonna do anything. I'll pause the recording again. And they are running out their timeout. So I can just attack here and... well, no. They already lost. Okay, the opponent did keep a 7 card hand, and again my deck isn't gonna really make it easy for me. I'm not being able to keep this, there's nothing to do. If these were planes, I at least could play the Consultant and the push. Nothing makes sense now. This hand doesn't have really any potential, even if I draw the land. I mean, absolutely, if I draw 4 lands, you know, a mountain and then the plains and island, yes, this would be a good hand. But I mean, the Conch doesn't do much. The Dramatic Accusation and the Galvanize, a little slow. I'm gonna go to 5. Keep that and do this, and we'll see if that's gonna help me. Actually, I can't even turn this face up now that I had to get rid of 2 planes. Essence of Antiquity. That is a 1 mana. Sorry, 5 mana, 1/10. When this is turned face up, creatures you control gain hexproof until end of turn and untap them, but it costs 5 to play. I mean, and it okay, well, it costs 3 to turn face up, so that's like more like a surprise untap. And I guess if I'm targeting them creature with one of my spells, they get to save it. But that's not for this game, it's for the next game. I was thinking that if I should just have mana up for the No More Lies, but I wanted to just play the board presence here, because they have this 1/1, at least I was able to block that. And here I will play the Inside Source. It actually allows me this to attack as a 3/3, but that's not so great, because this would have to attack as well. Well, I can also use the ability to make this into a 3/3, but of course I'm not gonna use my mana for that. Alright, so Dramatic Accusation could be used on the Night Watch, but... I couldn't be able to do anything too great. How good is it to play the Savior? I'm actually gonna do this. I can attack with my 2/2, so I can at least deal 2 damage by doing that, and I don't have to now worry about this dying, unless they can somehow sacrifice it or something, but then they do. This is a game where I'm mulligan to 5, so I don't have high hopes. I need to get extremely lucky here to win. Well, I don't know if extremely is the correct word, but I would need to get lucky. Now this is a 5 mana. I mean, they have 5 mana up, so this could turn into anything huge. I of course cannot attack right now. I'm gonna now leave mana up for the No More Lies. And they're gonna have a Flourishing Bloomkin making... yeah, this is gonna be a huge creature now. I think it's gonna be over very soon, because I can't really do anything here. And this 5/5, soon to be 5/5, will be able to outrace me. Alright, Vannifar is a really good card, I'm happy. But what? This is another color. That's a blue one. Okay, let's counter it. And exile it. Yeah, they have blue from this thing. If I can get a land... Okay, I can. That's good. If they would have attacked with the 4-4, by the way, I think I would have gone for the triple block. I would lose 2 of these. But it would have been worth it. Now it's a 5-5. And I will take the damage. I guess I could double block it, but if they have any interaction, I'm gonna be dead. So let's take the 5 for now. I can still get my, exile enchantment. Yeah, I don't like the fact they have all this mana here. They exile that thing. Well, okay. I might not now have to double block. They do hold, and they had at least mana up there without any onboard tricks. So yeah, this is kind of, it's really risky, of course. I basically die if they have something, but I'm not winning this race now that they got rid of my first flyer. There would have been a chance if I could be attacking for 6 in the air now. So, lose the pump spell, lose the instant speed removal spell. I guess I'm gonna do that. I mean, it's not a winnable game if I keep taking this damage here. That's fine. Let's go to the next game and maybe I don't have to mulligan. Bounce spell. Well, I'm gonna play the make your move for sure. I don't think I can play the bounce spell in that case because I have to be cutting something. I can save my own creature that's about to get exiled, but I haven't actually seen the Unyielding Gatekeeper either. My first pick in the draft. Nowhere to be found. Alright. What is the cut? It could be the Savior, it could be the Snoop. It could. But do they have blockers for the... I didn't see anything yet. And they could have white flyers, they could have reach creatures. But a 2-1 flying lifelinker can do some work. The Consultant might actually be a little bad here against the green deck. Alright, I'm gonna cut that. Even though it's one of my few 2-drops. Play first. Okay, I can actually keep it. And could this be a game where I can cast it? I even have the... basically have the mana for it, because this can be either blue or white. You can't play this on turn 1. You need another land or an artifact to tap. So, but I can tap the Strider, right? Yeah. So maybe I should play the Strider first. Because then I can have, on the next turn, I can have mana up for the No More Lies. Wait a minute. What did even happen? Why is this in there? I'm totally... Oh, they surveilled. They surveilled this thing, which is a really good one, but I suppose... No, don't do that. Now I can't have mana up for my... I really wanted to have mana up for my No More Lies. That was annoying. Well, I wouldn't have really been interested in countering that, even though it does exile, so this wouldn't do anything from the graveyard. They are just trying to find a land, but this is a really good one. I guess I'm happy they were forced to surveil it away. Dogwalker I can... Well, it's not really good against this 1-1 here, I suppose. Well, let's just do the Bubble Smuggler, because this thing I'm definitely not playing as a 2-1 here. Okay, now they got their white mana. And if this thing at some point dies, I can at least use the Strider to exile it if I really want to. It is 2 mana though, it's not free by any means. So let's see if I can find lands for the Esrim. So if they do block this, I will lose this. But I guess the 6 mana disguise is not really such a big deal, so I'm going to let them do the block. You know, a 6/5 is nice, but it's a lot of mana when I have all this stuff in my hand to be used. Now I could actually play the Dogwalker and, you know, have mana up for the No More Lies. But it doesn't feel like something I want to do. So I'm gonna play this face down. I think there will be times to cast the No More Lies because they were stuck at 2 for a couple of turns, and or at least for 1 turn. And they have all these spells in their hand, so this is going to catch something even later in the game. I'm not blocking with this guy now because I actually want to make the dogs, and what I can do, I can actually turn this face up and you know, still have mana up for the No More Lies. The 3/1 is not so great against the Maverick though, but it can still block. It can block the 2/2. Well, there is a land. I think I want to wait until I'm at 6 before playing the Esrim. I'm not really pressured too much here. Now that I'm 1 mana away from making this into a 6/5, I'm actually gonna leave it as a blocker perhaps. I'm gonna attack with the Dogwalker. I'm not gonna turn it face up though, because I'm playing the Phantom here. And I have now the No More Lies up. And I will just take the damage they're offering. They can attack for 4 with this by these 2/2s. So I'll take it. Can't counter that, they have the attacks. That I will counter. That's a really good card, by the way. Now I can turn some stuff face up here. They might go for a double block, of course. I can't turn multiple things face up, only one. So if they block both these and this, well, if they double block this, it doesn't even matter. And if they block this with single creature, then I can at least eat it for free. So yeah, let's do this attack. I want to do the aggressive thing. I guess I could attack with this and just let it go. It would be a little annoying if they block with the Nervous Gardener, but am I going to actually use this? No. I'm just gonna let it trade with the 2/2 of theirs. They of course have to make a lot of guessing right now. And yes, there's a pull possibility. You know, I have this thoroughfare, so I could get another way to get black or red, and then I could use even this mode. So this is now their block, and this is actually very good for me because they get dealt 4 damage, and I get to eat that guy for free. And I'm not too worried about. I mean, this can be something huge, of course, but I'm at 18. They're not gonna win here. And if this is a huge thing that attacks and then is turned face up, I can use push and pull to deal with it cheaply. And now I have this 4/3 flyer they probably want to deal with somehow. They are free to attack with, or they only targeted. Yeah, of course they can attack with the unicorn. That was another nervous gardener. And now they have 2 white still left. So this can be a thing that untaps with 2 white. It can be a dog walker. It can be the flyer that taps or untaps a creature. It can be the lifelinker that I have also in my deck. Or do I take 6 or more than that? 6 it is. And I am willing to let these trades happen, so let's just attack with everything. And of course, if they do block this particular thing, I will use the getting tokens thing. I can still play this as Snoop for I know I could use the push, but I don't think the dogs will be tapped, so I won't be getting any blockers, but I'm at 12 and I will have still a face down creature. It could be even a face up creature, but I'm gonna take the 2/2 rather than the 1/4. So let's do this. Let's do this. That's a dog walker as well. So it is now more damage. Oh, they can actually do this. Well, that's fair. That is definitely fair. I did not realize that unicorn can also work very well with the dog walker. So that I don't like. This outcome is definitely horrible. Ah, man, this neighborhood guardian is such a good 2-drop. Now I have 2 options. I can kill the guardian or I guess the walker, but this is they play 1 creature that has power 2 or less, and it's already gonna represent the extra damage. So I would kill the guardian. I'm not dying to this attack. That's 2, 6, 8. I'm close to dying though. But I suppose having a blocker is the same thing. If they kill the blocker and get to trigger this a couple of times or have a pump spell, well, if they win, then they win. That's 1 trigger for the guardian. They can pump the dog walker twice and it even has vigilance. If they have another thing. Okay, they did not. Or maybe this is dog walker too. I mean, well then they deserve the win. I have a feeling that's dog walker. Well, let them do it. Okay, it wasn't a dog walker. So there's a chance. Okay, especially because this phantom did not. I mean, they can't block that thing. And I of course didn't get the 6th mana, but I can do a good turn here with the push and the sprite locking something down. Yeah, and I have now blockers available. There's no reason to attack with the ground guys, of course. So I'm gonna just get rid of this guy. And then I will use the Crime Stopper sprite here. I will collect evidence. 6. What's the configuration? I guess it's this. I'll leave this Strutter to my... Yeah, I can do this. It's 8 mana. It counts both healths. And of course the Night Watch will be locked down here. And now I have 2 flyers. If I don't have to block with the sprite. Now they can have a +3/+3 and trample. This could be a big creature. This could be a... wait a minute. Yeah, it could be a 5 mana... It could be the green-white common. You know... that when it enters or gets turned face up, gets +1/+1 counters equal to the number of... the other creatures you have. So it would be, and it's a 4/4 base, so that's 8. That's 9/9. So if they have also a trample, it's 12 power trample. If they have the trample trick and they can turn this face, and they will be able to turn this face up. It's 5 mana to turn face up, so I will lose to that anyway. So I don't have to worry about the trample trick with combination of that card. And here I will just you know, do this. What I'm doing. Let's eat these guys. Although maybe it's not worth eating. I mean, if they have a trick, they can kill this, and then if they have an answer for this, but they still have to deal with. Fine, I will do like this. Whatever. If they have the combination, okay, they did not. So I will see now. It is the Rift Burst Hellion. So this card requires 6 mana to turn face up. They didn't even have a third green, so if they had this and a +3/+3 and trample, of course, then I will be. I mean, they didn't have the mana for that. Okay. Game 3Ds, and there's the Guardian. So this is green-white. They have some red cards, but these are mostly there to, you know, be played face down, and then of course turned face up with non-red mana. The Investigator is a really tough one, but maybe I will at some point in this event draw the Gatekeeper. I did draw this and I even had mana to cast it, but I didn't ever have the 6th mana for it, so I didn't use it. Make your move is already here. Do I want to have the unauthorized exit? Do I want to have the behind the mask? I mean, I kinda like the crowed haunch. Maybe the Snoop is a little bit too slow now, yeah. Because I kind of feel like I want to play the behind the mask. At Collect Evidence 6 I can turn a huge thing into a 1/1. That is worthwhile. I will cut the Snoop. And the exit is good against a bounce spell. I mean, not a pump spell. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess I like the rest of the stuff. I like the haunch because it will be useful to trade up my creatures. Alright, this is the deck. Look at this starting hand. This is very different from some of my earlier ones. Now the question is, am I gonna play a 2-drop here? They did mulligan even to 6, so let's see how they start. Okay, so I actually forgot to return with the recording, so they did keep 6 and they played the planes. And I even drew my Gatekeeper here too. Feel like I might want to play some of my guys, but maybe there is no rush. I'm not playing this now that they have the 2/1. I'm definitely using this with the ability. They surveilled on top. Well, here's the thing. If I choose not to play a 2-drop right now, this will attack for 2. And then on the next turn when I play my disguise creature, I'm not gonna block this with my disguise creature. So actually, you know, this is gonna be the trade on the automaton. I would have to take at least 4 from this one guy. And now they play a 3-drop. And then if my first play was a disguise creature, you know, they would be able to deal a lot of damage. There's the Investigator, which is investigate for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Okay, they will get a clue token, but I will have to just get rid of it. This is power 4 greater, yeah. So I'm just gonna. They get their clue. They mulligan to 6, so they get the card back. But I'm of course going to downgrade this into a 2/2. because I will be having more cards than they. I think there's no really cost in attacking with my guy. Because if they block with the investigator, well then I get to exile it and I won't lose this. And if they block with this, I don't actually mind the trade. So let's just do it. They might take here the damage and then they would be dealt 3 here. Okay, they actually want to trade. This is probably now the thing that fetches them a land. Anyway, this doesn't matter because I was always gonna do that, and trading the 3-2 with a 2-2 is fine. They do get, you know, a creature here. And they also got a 2-for-1 from this gardener, so it is good for them. They did mulligan, but now they are totally back in the game in terms of cards. They have enough lands now, they have enough cards. They haven't even cracked the clue here. So I hope I get my other rare too. This time I would be able to play it. I would assume I'm gonna get a 6th land even at some point. And well, there's no harm blocking here. Right. Guess I'm gonna play one face down creature and then I'm going to turn it face up. Do I want to have the flyer or the tokens? I think I prefer, in this case, the flyer. I might even be a little bit sneaky with this thing. Oh, I can just cast this with the Strider. That is actually something I should consider. Okay, I'm actually going to consider that. But what was I initially saying? I could be sneaky and not leave like white, because this can give me the extra white or black to turn it face up, but it would be more mana efficient to... Well, actually I'm still going to do this, because I think it's just more relevant here to get the 2-power life-linking flyer up. And yeah, it's not so mana efficient, but... And of course, I mean, the thing is that I could play this as a 2-1 right now, but that wouldn't allow me to... that would still take 3 mana, and I have no use for the 2 mana, so I might as well play this face down, and then of course... you know, turn it face up on their turn. I wouldn't mind if this is a 6-7, because I have the make your move here. That's correct. So let's just go with this. I'd go to 12 and then I get... This way I can get extra life, because this has the trigger for turning face up. But now this is actually fantastic, because I can now attack with both. I'm gonna take the 2 here, I think, now that I have the life linker. I can do this before they... I don't know how many ways they have to save it, but there might be a way to save it. I really don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna do this now that they are tapped out. I don't recall all the cards in the format yet. It's way too risky to... Because, I mean, what do I win? I do want to kill this regardless, so maybe... Are they gonna use a pump spell or something on this when it's not even blocked? While I'm at 15, it's not gonna happen. So I was gonna do this regardless, so I might as well do it while they're tapped out. Okay, they have 3 cards still, and they're gonna do something now. Seems like a disguise creature there. Okay, well, how about I got my second rare to with 6 mana up? Okay, well, I mean, I'm not gonna turn the dog walker now face up. I'm just gonna do this. One of these is the thing that fetches a land with 1 green. And I don't think I even care about what the other stuff is, because I can do this now. Get 2 investigate, twice investigate, aka 2 clue tokens, and now I have, this has a sacrifice an artifact, so I can even sacrifice the Strider here. Does it get indestructible? No, hexproof only, so I don't think I can block with it, because then they would have a pump effect and I would still lose this. I could only gain like 5 life there, and I don't think I like that too much. Okay, I'm happy that they do, play these things, because if this is another Hellion, that would be annoying, of course, because it is a reach guy, and it would kill my Ezrim. I even got a castable lightning helix in this game, so everything happens now that they didn't really happen earlier. I can get vigilance for this thing, but I'm not interested in blocking with it, so I'm not going to get the vigilance there. I will attack with my flyers and see what they have to say about that. So I can now play this face down and have mana up for the lightning helix and Ezrim's ability. And I can even do this dog walker. Bloom King, yep, that is a big thing, which is not... I have enough life that it doesn't matter actually. They get to surveil here, because this is a forest, of course. So do they surveil on top, or... I will be of course scared if they surveil on top. I do hope that they will mill this thing. They will mill an auspicious arrival, good. So they want to dig for something. This could be a dog walker. What else did I see in the previous game? I saw a Rift Burst Hellion, but this could be their only one. I saw multiple Nervous Gardeners, but this game also has shown 2 of them. This goes to face. Let's remember, I have a lethal attack, 7 in the air. Actually, this is enough. 5 plus 3 is lethal. So I'm not doing anything right now. The dog tokens are tapped. So should I take 7 or go for a jump block? They have 2 cards and 1 unknown face down card, so this is risky. I'm basically at 20 because of the lightning helix. If I want to undisguise this guy, I will not have the lightning helix up anymore. I am thinking about blocking this guy with the 2 to get the tokens. This is another flyer I have up, by the way. I don't think this can deal 17. Plus 10 extra seems really unlikely. So I'm gonna do this, and I guess I could still... Okay, fine, you know what, I'm actually doing this. I feel like that 1-3 isn't that necessary. I have still 2 clues for the Ezrim. So let's do this and take no damage unless they want to use some kind of a card in here, but it's not going to really help them. Okay. If that is a rat effect, well, that would keep them in the game, for sure. I do have 2 clues to crack for cards if they rat. Yeah, this only gets hexproof, not indestructible, which is good. This is sick enough as it is. Okay, they're gonna exile something. They will get 2 life also. This only sacks artifacts. This is not an artifact, so they go to 10 here. And then it's my turn. If I draw a land, I can actually win here. But let's first go to attacks. Yeah, because now I have 7 mana. I have the lightning helix up here. And this auto tapper is not gonna... Yeah, it's gonna work. Exile target attacker. Okay. I don't get to win on this turn, but I have, of course... I mean, they are not top decking. So now they have to top deck really well. Or this thing has to be something really amazing. I can jump the 7/7, I can take the rest. I can protect Esrim and I can... I didn't even need the lightning helix because Esrim will be lethal by itself. Okay, so I think I might need the both rares because this eating the investigator, they would have gotten a lot more clues if I didn't get that removed. So I needed both of my rares here. Okay, I'm keeping this hand despite having only planes, but I have 3 of them. I can play the Gatekeeper, well, probably not as a 2-drop, but it's a, you know, just a decent card. Downgrade one of the things, or maybe even say one of my things from removal. Okay, one of these agents to well, I have this as a 4-drop, so I don't have to draw the island for this thing. I still want to wait for the red source, and there it is. So now even another one, but that's no longer necessary. I have the 4 lands, and I have the red mana here. And I can play this on turn 4, and now I can just play this face down. This will be turned played face up, and well, I'm ready to rumble here. If they do attack with the agent, I don't think I'm in a position to attack. I'm to block. Okay, they killed my thing. Oh well. And I got another of these crackers. I think I do wanna play this now. Because I can block this thing, because even if they have 4 mana, it's not going to be a... I mean, they can't turn it face up so that it will actually kill the cracker while surviving itself. That gives me a clue token, so that's fine. And now what I can do is... Okay, they have a technician there, attack for extra point. Smuggler. So, do I want to do what exactly? I actually can block the technician with the haunch things, you know. They even enter untapped. Okay, I'm gonna play this face down because I will do that regardless. This I might play as a 4-drop, and I can still, you know, crack the clue in here, or use the lightning helix, whichever happens, whichever is gonna be relevant. I am willing to take the damage from the technician and the flyer here, and I will block the agent. And if they have a trick, I can at least use a helix here. But now, of course, I will do this. I don't want them to get any curious inquiries. Oh, they should have played this maybe first, or maybe they wanted me to use removal on that thing and then... Okay, that will turn into a clue. Well, it will turn into a clue. I mean, think that's gonna happen at some point regardless. If I had another removal spell for this thing, maybe it would be different, but now it's... Okay, I'm gonna attack, but I really don't even want to trade with that thing. But it would be a really risky block for them. I mean, it would be amazing, because this could be like the 4-3 flyer. It can be a number of things. Now I have a dog walker in here, which I will be using to... well, I'm gonna play it face down regardless, and then I think I will not be blocking the technician necessarily, because they will get another clue. I would block the investigator if it attacks, but if the technician attacks, I'll take 3 here. Okay, this is fine. They get another clue, and I get a couple of 1/1s. I'll leave with that. Cadaver. That's a really nice one here. Ah, and I still did not get the... I mean, I really want this to be a 6-5, but it doesn't happen now. Well, I'm gonna attack with these guys. I know I don't have to. I mean, maybe I was supposed to leave them to block the 3-2, but... nah, I don't know. It seems annoying that I don't have the 6th mana here yet, but... let's see. Yeah, I don't want to kill this while they have those clues. Yeah, I'll take this damage now. I will crack my own clue. That's definitely a fantastic card here. I might need my Bummer again. The blue, white one. Well, there it is. Even the 6th mana is in here. Okay. What's the game plan now? What is the game plan now? The Sanguine Savior doesn't do much in here right now. Now if I attack with these and they block and I turn it of course face up, that will be all my mana. I might be dead in the air if they find some, 2 damage somehow. I'm still doing it. Okay, no blocks. In that case, just do this. So this thing, when I turn this face up, it gives another target creature I control lifelink until end of turn. That can be very useful now that this is a race situation. I'm at a pretty dangerous amount of life, given that they have this 3 power flyer and the 1 power flyer here. Yeah, the Extract the Confession is a clean way to deal with the Esrim, by the way. Just collect the evidence and it's quite often going to be the creature with highest power I have. Okay, so they are gonna go for the attacks, which means that it could be the card that says, you know, that there's an uncommon that I think gives +2/+0 to a creature, and if it dies that turn, return it to the battlefield suspected. And I think it costs 2 mana. I will get 5 life in that case, so I think I will be blocking here and see what happens. I'm not taking 4, and then taking 3 is not much better than taking 4. So let's see what happens. Okay, nothing so far. I'm not gonna make this like have a lifelink. I want to keep mana up for the possibility that they are still having post-combat kill spells, because I have only 1 mana up, so I can only give this 1 ability this turn. When this okay, they loot from attacking. If they sack an artifact, this can't be blocked. Alright, but now I am of course in a hugely good shape, especially with the no more lies. Alright. So do I need to give my guy vigilance? No, I'm gonna gain 7 life this turn. Yeah, absolutely. I don't need vigilance here. I'm going to attack with this guy and this guy. Like this, and I'm gonna turn this thing face up. And this will get lifelink. I'm at 12 life now. And I can have no more lies in here. I'm not even sure if I actually need it though. Because countering this isn't even going to be that. I mean, there can be something else too. But it's not that important necessarily to counter that guy. The 1/3 does already a good job dealing with the savior here. That was like a one-time thing. The Night Watch could do some work here. I do have the haunch though, I can actually equip the savior. Huh. Maybe I was supposed to equip it now and leave 1 up for the no more lies. I didn't actually understand that was a possibility. I wouldn't play this as a 3/2 because I want to leave 1 up for this. Well, okay, I'm gonna pass the turn. I will have the no more lies up. They have these ground guys, so the Night Watch isn't gonna do any quick victories to me. They have blockers for it. And I guess I am going to counter the cadaver if they are playing that, so that they have fewer options to deal with the airstream. That's a loot when they attack, so that's fine to me. I can just double block it with the dogs. Unless they find a way to sack an artifact, but I don't think that's really happening now. So they are collecting some evidence, perhaps. They have an extracted confession. And I cannot counter that because they have the tax. Okay, I will lose the Esrim now. There is no way to make it. Yeah. Okay, that happens. And then I will counter the guy they had there with this, and then I do need my Night Watch after all. In the meanwhile, I'm going to... Oh, that's a really convenient card. I can get rid of the Unlooker before... Huh. I have 6 mana, so I can equip this thing. They will block, and then I can exile it from the graveyard. Or I can just make this into a 6/5 and, you know... Okay, I have a good attack now that they are tapped out. I will be doing this on this turn. I don't care if they... I guess they might block with Onlooker. Well, yes, they might. But maybe they don't. Because then they will have these. These will be tapped though. Yeah, they can't block on the next turn yet if the Outlooker goes to graveyard. No, they go for the double block. That was great for me because this will exactly survive and they lose both of their guys. I'm sure they didn't expect that to happen. So now they have to deal with the smuggler, and if they deal with it using something expensive, I get to exile. Okay, well, it's a 5/5 now, sadly, because, you know, it is having those counters, so that was fantastic for them. So do I want to... It doesn't fly though. So do I want to exile? I'm definitely exiling on this turn, but I don't know if I should... Should I equip? I think I should. The ground guy doesn't do that much right now, so this allows me to put them down to 3 life, and now both my flyers will be lethal. And this, you know, this will deal me 5 damage, but I just gained 4. And then I can have the Night Watch on the next turn. And now, of course, I don't have Esrim anymore. I will crack those clues if they are able to stabilize in here. Deal with both of these guys. I will at least have some extra draws. Do I have my Lightning Helix? No, it's in the graveyard. But yeah, this quest to kill is really good when it steals something with counters, especially if it has 4 counters. Usually the creature turns into a 1/1. Not this time. This still can't block detectives though, so I can jump with the 3/2 and then it can't block the 2/2 if that's gonna be relevant. Well, scratch that. Multiple agents there too. Burden of proof. Well, I mean, I either win now or... No, that was not close. They had nothing left. So now that I know they have the steal thing, I will be playing the unauthorized exit for sure. This isn't as good because this doesn't target permanents I own, only the ones I control. So I would have to time this in response to their things. And it's not really that good against the edict effects either, so I don't think I'm going to need it. The make your move is... Yeah, they actually have good answers for my Esrim. Nothing much I can do about that. And they have their own good cards. The Investigator is annoying. For sure. Actually, their deck seems very good, and I mostly won because I did draw my Esrim there. Now, do I want to do something with the Yetsam? Is there something great I want to be casting there? Not necessarily. Seems like a fairly low curve deck. Apart from the control, the 5 mana steal a creature thing, I don't think there's much I want to cast. So I'm not going to play this split card. Am I going to play anything else in here? I already have to make one cut. You make your move is not needed. The Savior isn't actually the greatest. Now that I saw they have a 1/3 flyer and stuff like that. So this is fine. I don't know how good this consultant will be for me, but I don't know how good the other stuff here is either. Like a candlestick. Now I'm gonna keep this hand. This deck, I mean. Okay, this is a fine hand. Nope, I can't play that. Consultant. Maybe the dog walker. Yeah, that the dog walker is good. With the consultant here, I don't like this though. Don't have a way to deal with it. And if I draw one of my red spells, well, I don't have the red mana, but if you kill this with a burn spell or destroy effect, they will get to investigate. I have a one white enchantment that exiles, and of course there's the rare that exiles. They did not attack with the investigator, even though it's totally a free attack. You know, I block with the 1/3, I'm tapped out. Nothing can happen to this thing. All right, here. Oh, dog walker. Let's do the dog walker. I'm not going to block with it yet. But I will likely on the next turn. Well, I don't know. Besides, the opponent might be missing on the blue mana. Yes. Okay, now I have a totally easy. This is like the first time I can actually just exile a land without actually caring about it too much. In this event, I have faced so many agents here. Alright, so I can't play the land if I use 3 mana. Because I don't have an artifact to tap. The thing is, I don't really like turning this face up either. I can't basically do anything here on the ground as long as they have the investigator giving them a ton of tokens. Now this only triggers once per turn and only gives 1 token even if multiple creatures die at the same time. So it's 1 per turn only, but I don't know if there's gonna be a situation where the opponent isn't gonna play so that they lose like 3 creatures. I think I still have to do it like this, just to have my land drop. But, well, I suppose the cold case cracker, it gives me some way to keep attacking. Okay, the Snoop is going to help them, and that's also gonna make it so that the cold case cracker has no way to deal damage. I guess I, at this point, need a blocker in the air, though. Okay, they milled another swamp, so that was a good Snoop. I'm sure they did not need the swamp for any purpose. Okay, I will just use my mana here, and well, that is a good card. I would rather, but they have multiple edicts. I have no attack here. They will just block the dog walker with the. There's no attack. 2/2. It's a 1/1. This trades with this. They take 3 and they get a clue, and I may lose this. This is horrible. But yeah, the edict isn't doing much because they don't have a collect evidence 6. So am I going to just play this if I get an untapped land? I get to investigate, but the opponent is raising, and that is of course something they can easily now do. What removal spell would kill this if they don't have collect evidence 6? Look at this attack. This is just so bad attack. I lose a 1/1 token, I have to trade with this so that they get a clue token, and I get to deal, what, 4 damage to them. That's bad. I'm gonna do this. At least if they kill the Esrim immediately, I will have my clues. But I have nothing else going on here than the Esrim, so I have to play it. But the opponent hasn't still found an island despite triggering this, so they are also not in the greatest shape of all times. Inside Source isn't gonna do much. It can pump the agency chief, but well, Maybe that is more relevant than having a bubble smuggler. Okay. Exile that. I'm one black or red mana away from using the pull. There's nothing to pull much yet though. I can attack. I won't be giving vigilance to my guys. They will be they will be able to get a clue, but I can't help it. I can't make this guy tapped to kill it. At least it only triggers from non-tokens, so the onlooker's tokens won't help there. I wonder if I'm supposed to. They, by the way, didn't block, so they didn't want to have the clue. I think I'm having my own flyer here. I'm not going to use this 3 mana ability as long as I have spells to cast, so let's get the own Snoop here. Yeah. I mean, the opponent doesn't have blue mana, so it's really nasty for them. They have, what, almost half their deck is now. And it's not like they play more than 2 colors. I didn't see anything else than blue and black spells there. So this is pretty miserable for them, especially if they have like 4 or 5 blue cards in their hand. Okay, now they're gonna go for the block with the onlooker and then... Oh, I have now pull up here. So now that they are going to block with the onlooker, I think I'm supposed to attack with everything here. Because they will get only 1 clue. I will lose some stuff. But especially not with the pull here. Although that's actually kinda bad because they... Yeah, you know why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because they get 6 mana worth of stuff to their graveyard, and then they can edict this guy away. I'm not gonna let that happen. So I will just I could attack with that, but I'm doing just with this now because I want to play the inside source, because the inside source can actually pump this guy because he's a detective. So I'd rather have this up on the next turn. Yeah, I would have attacked with everything if I didn't mind them having stuff enter their graveyard. And I can do this, and then if I want to, I can turn this face up, but I don't really want to tap out, so they would have to tap out on their turn for me to do that. Now they will of course use that ability. They might crack the clue if they... Oh, they didn't crack it. They would have wanted to dig for an island first, but this is now what? 5 swamps drawn, 1 in the graveyard, no islands anywhere. I've been there. I've been there too, and that is super annoying, especially when you're playing just 2 colors. Undercity Eliminator, so they exile 1 of... They do get a clue here also, and they get closer to collect evidence 6, but... yeah, exile target creature I control. And the creature I exile is not Esrim. Oh, they actually go for it. That is a targeting ability. Wow. I didn't expect them to make me... Maybe they just wanted to see if I realize that I can do that. Anyway. Okay, I'm taking 2 here. I'm not going to crack the clue to draw a card. I want to have the Esrim abilities up here. For as long as I have that. Okay, makeshift binding. Definitely a good thing here. But I don't need it yet. I'm going to do this though. Yeah. I'll have the gatekeeper here. And I actually do want to block with this rather than attack for one. Because I'm not using this source now, because I won't want to tap out. They don't get the clue from the token. Can they finally get an island? Okay, now they are in desperation mode. Now they got an island. So this turn they can play something that's cheap and then... Okay, they are not tapped out also. Does that mean I can do something cool? Another swamp there. Well, they don't really have attacks now that I have a 1-4 here. I mean, that's just... If they want to get a clue, I can actually, you know, block this with something else too. I'm not sure if I want to do that. They haven't gotten a clue this turn yet, so let's just do this. I don't need to. Burden of proof. That's not so useless. They have 3 in there right now. Yeah, I don't want this to go to graveyard either, because it will be collect evidence very soon. So I could bind this guy now, although they have enough cards to play now. But maybe with one island it's not that easy. But what I can do, I can actually pump the Snoop. And then I can use the burden of proof to actually make it even larger. I'm going to do that because I have the mana for it. It also has vigilance now. And they will get a... yeah, I guess that means they will edict away the Esrim now. Which is unfortunate. Oh, I'm losing time here. What? Such a tough... Yeah, this is kind of... Well, I went for it, so I'm gonna go for it. But that means I will be losing my... They will have now enough collect evidence in there. Yeah, there's not much to do about it. Well, at least I have a 3-6 flyer here still, and they got another island, but it's about time they got multiple blue sources there. They might steal this, but it will be just a 1-1 in that case. This won't enhance it in any way. Exiles creatures, yeah, I have like 11 minutes and this could still be won by the opponent, so... Okay, out cold in there. So they're gonna make it so that he's gonna get a stun counter, right? Well, I am going to give it hexproof, just to prevent the stun counter. This will still, you know, be edictable, but it doesn't matter. Okay, no edict, although I saw 2 of them. So they're in bottom 18, right? I can steal something from... This is from single graveyard, isn't it? Yep, it is. Alright, so now... they have collect evidence there. So now it's a question of... Do I want to give them another clue or not? By taking 3. Well, I guess I am... I can also use the push pull now to get that thing back. Okay, so I'm going to exile this now, finally. It's not even going to matter that much, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. Then I will just attack with like a with my guys. Except the 1/1. And I'll play the Gravestone Strider here. And now I have the way is very clear for the push and pull. They have no board anymore, even if they get to deal with my stuff. That is fine. They have a push on that, which I'm unable to deal with. And then I will just Lightning Helix. They have one card still in hand, but I could attack Cold Case Cracker, and the Consultant is, yeah, this is going to be a victory if they have like nothing, then sack a clue. But do I have to even take that risk right now? Because I can just do other stuff as well. Yeah, I'm gonna play it a little bit safer. I'm gonna play this face down, and then I will attack with everything and see what happens. They get the thing back. The 3/1 isn't just gonna do much here. So now even if they have the Black Rat, I will just burn them to 3 and then use the push-pull to... Yeah. Alright. It was a good thing I won this game because I used so much time here pondering about all the options. It is really odd that they didn't draw either of their edict effects, and they have only 15 cards left in the deck. I can't imagine them sideboarding those out because they did see the Esrim, and it's a very clean way to deal with the 5/5 if you just have to collect evidence. I mean, it seems like the opponent had a really good deck, but of course I won both of these games with the Esrim. So that is what happens when bomb rares hit the board. And that's another 3-0 apparently. And I guess my matchups didn't feature too many, fast decks. Well, there were only 3 matchups, of course, in a best of 3 draft. But I basically did not get punished with the low amount of 2-drops at all, I don't think. No, I did not. And then, of course, this is a pretty decent deck, grinding with stuff. I don't think that the Haunch did too much of work. It did get equipped a few times, I guess. And it is good with the flyers, like with the Snoop and the Savior, and of course I have multiple flyers here. And it's good also with the low power creatures, enabling them to trade up. But the equip cost of 2 is of course a real cost. But the good thing about this thing is that you can always cast this in for 2/1/1s if you don't have any creatures you want to be equipping. I think it's still a card I will be playing in all of my white decks. Not that I'm gonna pick it that highly necessarily, but I think it's an easy inclusion. Yeah, mostly this was a show of, well, once the Esrim started showing up, it was a one card show a lot of the time. But that's what it does. It is one of the better cards in the set. So I will see you in the next video then, after claiming this prize. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.